Hello guys, welcome to the next episode of my campaign beginner series for the Necromancer Summon Raging Spirits. And this episode we are in Act 6 and we are going to first of all go to Darklift right here and look if he has any nice items, because I actually want to get an upgrade for my boots. Doesn't seem like it. I'm going to go to Faustus to gamble a little bit. Right here, get some energy shield boots. Okay, 5 life, that's maybe not the greatest. I would like, okay, something like that is nice. Ideally this should have movement speed on it. Right now it doesn't, but that's also fine. I'm just going to swap those out. And now we can continue on to Act 6. So first of all, the coast. Right here, you can just move through. Nothing real special in this area. Another thing we are going to do this act is swap over to Purity of Elements probably, which is another aura that gives us a little bit more resistances. And then I'm probably going to drop Vitality to make a little bit of space in our reservation pool. And there's the waypoint. Here this is another leak mechanic, this is the breach mechanic. You don't have to interact with it yet. Just another thing you can do in the endgame. Now we go into mudflats again. I think I've already said this last time a little bit, but Act 6 to 10 is basically a remaster, somewhat, of Acts 1 to 5. As I understand it, we've gone back in time and now we have to kind of prevent what has happened. Maybe you can also check these mercenaries, they sometimes appear in the area. They have some nice items sometimes. In this area just want to kill this boss right here. She's going to drop you an eye that you need to get to the next area. Here we go, Eye of Conquest. And now you go left, because the exit is always on the left over here. And we also leveled up. Very nice. I'm going to grab a little bit more HP, just to make us more tanky. This is a beginner guide and I want to make the character as tanky as possible, because most of our damage comes from the gem levels as well. We don't really have to scale damage at all, and so I just focus on survivability. This is the next boss, Tukohama. Right here, there's also a crafting recipe. For him, at half HP, he's going to become invulnerable and then spawn these little totems. You just have to kill the totems to make his shield disappear. And now you can damage him again. Also something that unlocked there was the Pantheon. At the end you can kind of see Sin coming down there, and now if you press Y you can see the Pantheon. And this is like permanent character power I can show you once we are in town, because if you're in a battle area you cannot change it. So after we get the waypoint here I'm going to head back to town. Okay, so in my hideout I can now just press Y, and then right now we have the Soul of Tukohama. We can pick this. This gives us a little bit of extra damage reduction. And there is 4 major powers and a few minor ones. And you can have 1 major and 1 minor one at a time. So after you've defeated some bosses you will gain their powers and then you can just pick some. The ones we will pick later on is one that gives us freeze immunity and then probably ignite or bleed reduction at least. So for this area there's always going to be a little spot right here that ends off. There's like a bonfire here. And you want to stay at the side where this area spawns, so this area is on the right, and so you want to stay at the right edge of this area. And then just follow the edge until at some point you find probably the prison, it's called. And at some point we should see a little mini-boss in this next area right here. Once we see that mini-boss, we know we are going the right way. Okay, so it seems like we've skipped the mini-boss, we probably just walked past him. But we stayed at the right side of the area, and now we are at the prison. So that works out as well. Here, as you can see at the top, there's another Trial of Ascendency. For the next few trials, we will only have to complete 3 trials each, and not 6 like we had to do for our very first ascension. So that's a little bit easier. And now I'm still like maybe a little bit underleveled. The area level is 47 right here, and I'm 43. That's still fine. Just as a reminder, try to stay within a 3 level like margin of the area, and then you should always be fine. Up here we can see the book and some traps already, so that's going to be the trial up there. Very nice. And here you can dodge the traps, you can just walk through. Doesn't really matter. And now we are one of 3. And there is, at least in the campaign, there will be 2 more ascensions that we can do. And I believe the second total ascension we will do in Act 8. And then the last one will be in Act 10. Okay, next exit over here, very nice. Shavronne's Tower. And as you can see from the name, this will be the boss of this area. In Act 1, if you remember, all the way back in the prison we had to fight Brutus. And now Brutus will also be the boss of this area, but he will be combined with Shavronne. You will see that in like, I think 2 areas we have to climb a little bit further up. And then we will reach the top of this tower. But there's a lot of like characters that we have already seen in the first 5 acts that just reappear now. A lot of the bosses are repeats, but they are a little bit different always. Just kind of seeing them a few years ago, because we traveled back in time. And for this area you always want to go over the small passages in the middle, like these ones right here. And then you should see the exit. Okay, and I think this is the last area. Right here in the middle we will find the exit. Another orb of alchemy, that's very nice. And we have to walk around a little bit to get to the middle, and then there will be a ladder that leads us to the top. Alright, and here you can see this is Brutus and Shavronne right here. We've already fought both of these bosses by themselves, Brutus in Act 1 and then Shavronne in Act 5. Or actually I think it was in Act 4 when we fought Malachi. We had to defeat his 3 guardians, and one of his guardians is Shavronne. For most of these attacks you can just move in a circle and everything will miss you. And now, once you've gotten both of them to like a little bit under half health, they will combine into one boss. and walk around him, dodge his slams. The slams deal a lot of damage. And that's the boss. This right here is just a little bit of lore. You can always just click on it and it will be read to you. Sometimes it's quite interesting. Alright. Now we, in this area, have to look for... we have to follow the road a little bit, and then in one of the sides there will be a ridge. And on the side with the ridge usually you can find a little entrance right here into the next area. And then here we will have to defeat one optional boss for a passive skill point. There's also Nessa right here. Yeah, she's going to talk a lot. She's kind of like going to explain you what is happening in this act. And she is also going to be the final boss with a crab, but we will see that later. It's kind of interesting, but yeah, very weird story. Think about it. And again, we are at a point in the campaign where the bosses usually just melt. So in important boss fights I will still explain the mechanics. However, for like 90% of the boss fights in the campaign, it's sufficient to just say move in a circle and you will just literally not get hit at all. Because our damage is like very high. Now, as you've defeated the boss, you can move out of this area again and then follow the road. There we go, and it will lead you to the next area, Western Forest. Now this is, as I said before, I said this is Act 1 or Act 6 is like a remaster of Act 1. Now if you remember, we are in Act 2. This is actually the area where we fought Lyra, and here we defeated the Blackguards. And we also killed the Weaver in this area. However, now, as you can see, this is part of Act 6. So there is differences between Act 1 and 5 to 6 and 10. However, it's a lot of it is the same. Okay, and now from the waypoint, just follow the road again, and you will find the next exit. Riverways is exactly the same. Follow the road until the waypoint. The only thing here is that from the waypoint on, you will move up until you find this area right here, the Wetlands. There's another optional boss that gives us a passive skill point, and we obviously want to collect all of them. For this area, just stick either to the right or the left side, and then move around the area until you find the boss arena. Now, we could go for a little bit of mana right here. I'm going to go down there and then grab some more life. Okay, actually we can't get out of here. We have to go around this area. Okay, so there's the exit. As I said, it's just RNG whether the exit is on the left side or on the right side in this upper area. You just have to pick one and go for it. Here, in this fight, you have to first defeat Ryslatha's nests. There's one in the corner up there, one in the middle here, and then a last one in the right corner. And once you've defeated all of the nests, then you can go in the middle and she will appear from the ground. And she can actually do a lot of poison damage, so I would say at a distance. But she also takes a lot of damage. So, as you can see, Sin actually appeared here again. I'm going to go back to town. But I will show you that now we have defeated another boss who gives us a Pantheon power. Right here, it doesn't really matter yet what you pick. I'm going to pick the less ignite duration. Sometimes that's helpful. Now we get a passive point here and one from Dark Life as well. And he's also going to give us some helmets. I'm going to pick the Circlet because we are an intelligence class, another passive point. And now we get 3 more passives to allocate. And right here I'm probably going to go further down for now. And then maybe we can grab this life over here. Right. The next thing is going to the Riverways again. And from now, just follow the road until we are in the next area. And also while you are moving, always just press your SRS button a few times and the minions will kill the monsters while you are moving. This is how you maintain the experience to always be in reach of the area level. For this area right here, this can be very annoying to navigate, so always stay at the complete right edge of this area. And you want to go over all of the bridges you see. So I'm going to stay at the very right edge. Go over the bridge. Again, stay at the right edge. Or this is technically not the left edge, but I hope you understand what I mean. There's another bridge. And now for this area, you can just walk straight. Once you see like this double bridge, you know this is the last area, and you can just dash right through. And somewhere around here, there's the waypoint. And this is the Cavern of Anger. Here you can see Nessa again. She's going to talk. Just pick up the black flag, and then you can move on. And this area is usually a little bit annoying because from my experience the entrance is, when the entrance is here, the exit is either up there or down here. So we are going to just try the bottom direction first and see where that leads us. But it already seems to lead us a little bit up top. Okay, so we see the exit, that's very nice. But you can definitely get lost in this area a little bit. There's like a path right here that just leads into multiple dead ends. And now for this area, the beacon, you can just go down and then stay at the shore right here. And usually this should take you to the torch up ahead. We could have also actually gone up here. Maybe that's a little bit better. Also, if you are wondering how I can allocate points with just one click, you can hold Control and left click the points, and then it instantly allocates them without you having to confirm. Just some more quality of life. Okay, so this is very lucky. As you can hear from the loot filter and from just how it looks, this is a valuable item. This is a Divine Orb. You are not guaranteed to drop any of these in the campaign. If you do, that's very nice. It's a very nice head start for currency early, and this will make your life a lot easier. So basically these Divine Orbs are one of the most expensive currencies in the game. There is Chaos Orbs, which is the like primary trading currency, and then there's also Divine Orbs. Currently a Divine Orb is about 200 Chaos Orbs, so you can see why that is so valuable. However, I am still on SSF, which means I have limited myself to not be able to trade with other players anyways, so I'm not going to take advantage of that and make this progression like, or just utilize the money that you're not supposed to get like deterministically. I'm not going to make this character like overpowered. so it's easiest for you to follow. There's a minion wand, I'm going to pick that up. However, again, if you find a Divine Orb, especially for mapping, right now in the campaign you should do completely fine with just the gear we have. However, especially when we get to the mapping part after the campaign, I will include some nice unique items you can buy that will increase your damage a lot. And if you find a Divine Orb or a few Chaos Orbs, you can get some of those unique items and that will make your progression a lot easier. So when we get to mapping, I'm going to include those items in the notes in the POB.
I need more mana.
And here you just have to stay in these kind of like circles. Or the beacon to power up. It's batteries. And now once we've gotten both into the mechanism, I'm going to identify a few items. They're not too great. And now you light up the ignition, the switch right here, and then click the beacon. And now you can either walk down this staircase right here, or you can go to the edge and just dash down. Now you sail to the final area of this act. And here you can again either stick to the right or the left. I don't think there's a very good way to navigate this area other than that.
When I'm ready and not before.
Then at some point you should see an entrance to the Brine King's Reef, where we will fight Nessa. We've met her twice now in this act, and she's... in the first act she was a friendly town NPC, now she's the boss. And she's also like kind of wed to this crab right here, and they combine in this boss fight.
I simply knew you wouldn't disappoint me. Or my husband. See,
And here you just kind of have to wait for her to finish her dialogue.
his wedding day by one bride alone. Thank you, my new sister. I shall always treasure your company.
Alright. So just curse her with your flame ability, summon your raging spirits, and she will die very quickly. In this phase, this is actually a little important. The waves will come closer, and Nessa will call down these storm things from the sky. You should really dodge them, they deal a lot of damage. And there we go. More phases. And in this last phase the waves will actually stay like this, and you just have to kill him like that. There we go. And we found a ring. Maybe that's nice. Let's see it. Okay, this would actually be very nice if I was playing Archmage right now. But for this Necromancer build this is maybe not the greatest. And now we've defeated the Brine King, and we've gotten his soul right here in the Pantheon. So just press Y and you will be able to select his power. Later on, when we reach the mapping section of the game, we will also be able to capture Tanner Lightfoot. This is another boss in mapping, and then we will be avoid to being frozen, which is very nice. Now we sail to the bridge encampment. This is Act 7, and we have completed Act 6. Okay, so one more thing before I end up this, before I close up this episode. we are going to go back here in Act 6, check on the NPCs, because I believe we have another passive point. We don't, but we can go to Lily right here, and she's going to tell us Purity of Elements. This is another aura skill, which I am going to use. This gives us more resistances and makes it very easy for us to cap them out. And yeah, that's it for this episode. I hope you've enjoyed. If you've enjoyed, leave a like and subscribe. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. I answer every comment. And then thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.